Alright everybody, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit more in depth about the diet that I'm doing. You may have seen that other video that I made about my carb meal, and that goes into depth a little bit more about one specific meal, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about the science behind the competition preparation diet that I'm doing for this bikini competition, which is now in 7 weeks. I actually had a bad dream that I wasn't ready for it. I don't know why. I guess it's like I don't feel like I'm doing enough, like not sticking to the diet enough, and I guess I'll go into depth a little bit more with that. I am doing a lot of work though to do my best to stay with it, and with training as well. I'm sore and everything, but I don't know. I've been watching, I guess, other stuff with these other competitors, and um, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like I'm doing as much as they are, or maybe pushing myself as hard as they are. I typically would do in the past a lot of high intensity interval training, a lot of body weight training, which in effect was a lot of cardio, and I've cut down on that a great deal. I know a lot of competitors keep up that cardio a whole lot because they don't have any problems with losing muscle when they do that. I don't think that I have problems with losing muscle if I were to increase my cardio either, so I don't know if I feel like I should be doing more cardio as well. I'm just really tired. I haven't been getting enough sleep. I need to go to bed earlier, and then I'll have more energy to do a little bit of cardio afterwards as well. I also teach classes at the gym that I work at, so I kind of count that as my cardio some days. Enough talking about all that. The diet plan that I'm doing is by the supplement company Scivation, or Scivation. They have a website with a lot of different books depending on your goals you can choose from. They have one for just everybody trying to be in shape, live a healthy lifestyle, and then they have the one that I'm doing, which is called Game Over. It's like a cut diet, and it's written towards a male, but it can definitely be used by a female. You just need to adjust the calories appropriately for your size. This Saturday, I'm going to weigh in again and do all my measurements again, take pictures again. So I guess I'll find out if I'm making continued progress at that time. If I'm not, I definitely know that I'll change my diet a little bit. I spoke with somebody who's experienced, and he gave me some good feedback on what I'm doing. Basically said I'm on the right path, but I don't know, some days I'm a little bit low on calories, some days a little bit high on calories. Probably evens out in the end, but there's always room for improvement. Lastly, on the third day, for your fifth or sixth meal, whichever is your last meal of the night, on that third day, there's carb backloading, and there's a specific order for eating your carbs for carb backloading. You can watch my carb backloading video, but I'm going to go a little bit more into detail in it, into the science and whatnot right now. Oh, part 1 of carb backloading meal is your fibrous vegetable to slow the absorption of the carbs that you're about to consume. So we're talking spinach, broccoli, asparagus, green beans, something green basically. Then you're going to go into your complex carbohydrate like oatmeal. The book recommends honey and raisins. As you can see in the carb meal, I didn't do honey and raisins, but any alkaline food and some healthy fat, maybe a little bit of almonds. And then a sweet potato with some healthy fat. The book recommends almonds or almond butter. As you can see, I might have done a little bit of olive oil and some cracked pepper, which I think is really good. Of pre-workout meal, post-workout meal, intra-workout meal. This does not recommend any kind of special pre-workout meal except for your actual food meal that you're going to eat about like an hour before your workout. And then post-workout, it does not recommend having a post-workout shake. It recommends simply BCAAs and then following with your next regular food meal like an hour later. And during the workout, it does recommend consuming BCAAs, which, based off of what I've learned in school, I agree with that BCAAs will definitely help you to stay in a positive protein balance, which means that you're going to be gaining muscle and not losing any muscle. The reason why it does not recommend a post-workout protein shake is to avoid an insulin spike. One thing that I thought was really interesting in this book, it said do not consume your proteins with your carbs because it might cause an uncontrolled insulin spike. And I always learned in school consuming a protein with your complex carb would help control the glycemic index of that complex carb, but I'm not too sure. Maybe you guys know more about that and can tell me, because I'm confused because I learned one thing in school and this book is saying another thing, so I don't know. The two fruits that this diet does recommend are blueberries and grapefruits. The reason for this is because grapefruits contain naringin or something like that, which is an enzyme that may inhibit alkaloids in the liver. And so an alkaloid is like caffeine. If it inhibits the enzyme that metabolize alkaloids, then you're going to have an increased half-life of those alkaloids. It also recommends blueberries because blueberries contain a polyphenol, and in a rat study, concentrated amounts of this caused increased fat loss. I don't know how much I buy this because obviously this is a human population and we're eating the actual berry, not like a concentrated amount of this extract from a blueberry, but I don't know. It's still like a pretty low glycemic fruit and I like them, so if it tells me to eat them, I'm going to eat them. The body is naturally in an alkaline state, and when you have an imbalanced diet, it puts your body in an acidic state, which causes depletion of your electrolytes, so like magnesium, calcium, potassium, magnesium, did I already say magnesium? Calcium, potassium, sodium, yeah. Adding a fat and a vegetable to a meal of protein and carbohydrate causes it to be a more basic meal, so you don't get your body in that acidic state. This diet recommends adding L-glutamine if you cannot add the fat in the vegetable. So basically, on the days in which you're not eating carbs, starchy carbs, it's almost like a paleo situation. The idea is to try and get your body in an alkaline state so it becomes used to using fat for fuel. So on these days, I eat 5 to 6 meals a day, and it consists of a protein, a vegetable, and a healthy fat. The healthy fats are the omega-3s and the omega-6s. Omega-3s, that's the DHA. You're going to find that in salmon, fish. You can get DHA supplement, and then the omega-6s are what you're going to find in pistachios and some other nuts and seeds. One thing that I was thinking about today is how before I started all of this, whenever somebody would be doing like meal prep and they'd have all their food ready and we'd go out to eat and they'd be like no dressing, no tortillas, you know, no croutons, like they were the crazy one. Not crazy, but like how can you not have this stuff? How can you not have this when you go out to eat? But now I'm that person, and other people see me as that person. I was talking to one of my coworkers about food and like, what was it? How I love like really good pizza or something like that, and he was like, oh, so you are human, because he's just only seen me eating all this healthy stuff all the time. And that's when it really clicked, like, wow, like I'm that person now. And I never thought that I could be. So, I mean, even though when I'm, you know, I haven't been perfect this entire time, you have to plan for failure. And by planning for failure, you're not going to get discouraged. You're just going to pick right up with it and keep going. So, I don't know, I'm really proud of myself for coming this far, even with a few slip-ups. And I'm just going to continue this. And it's really shown me that I can, you know, resist cravings. And I really do believe that anybody can not necessarily be as ridiculous as doing like a competition prep, but anybody can improve what they're doing right now if you just want it bad enough. Something's got to be there to motivate you. It doesn't necessarily need to be a competition prep. It could be like a doctor's visit, or I don't know, whatever you find really helps intrinsically motivate you. Most of the time, spring break might not necessarily be enough. It might be good enough for, you know, a couple weeks leading up to it, but it's not going to be a long-term lifestyle change, and chances are you'll probably just gain back everything that you just lost, especially if you're doing some kind of crash diet. I just started this new job, and everybody at this new job has seen me doing this competition prep. They never knew me before, so they didn't know how I ate before. And before I didn't eat unhealthy, but it wouldn't be uncommon for me to eat like a whole lot of tortilla chips and salsa, a whole lot of popcorn. And obviously I wasn't unhealthy, I wasn't overweight, but like I said in my other video on why I'm doing this, I started to feel like, okay, I have to work out in order to compensate for this diet. Now I don't feel like I have to work out in order to compensate for my diet. I don't feel like I have to do extra cardio in order to compensate for it because everything is getting towards the appropriate amounts that I'm supposed to be eating. So that's all I have to say about my diet. I know that this video was a little bit less fun and a little bit more sciencey. Check out my other video to see what I actually ate for carb meal and see the pictures of my progress. That was like 8 weeks out, and I'm going to update those pictures and measurements and everything this coming week. So stay tuned for some more update videos and how I'm feeling and blah blah blah, because you care, you probably don't care. These are really more for me, so I can remember what this was like. But yeah, anyway, happy Friday.